Hello, and welcome to episode 43 of Nintendo Therapy, a show about the latest Nintendo news and rumors, as well as a celebration of all of the things Nintendo. And with me this week to talk about The Legend of Zelda, the movie, the game, is Harrison,
Hey, welcome back, guys.
Momo,
Hey, listen.
and Sean.
Hey, I was late to class, but I'm here. So
It's true. So, how have all your Nintendo weeks been?
Let's be realistic here. My week was a bit of a low one with work and stuff like that, and playing the new Mario. Finally started doing all that stuff. But
nice.
after the news we've had in the last 15 to 20 hours, I think just rewrite the script for today, mate. There's only one thing we're going to be talking about the most today, and that's what I'm here for. And I'm so happy to be on the episode where we actually get to talk about Zelda for a change.
How about you, Harrison?
Well, I've been playing a little bit more Suika game, and didn't play as much this week. Had the birthday, been busy with work, and now I'm just thinking. I have two demos downloaded, either the Pikmin demo or the Dragon Quest Monsters demo, and I'm thinking that I'm going to play one of them before Mario RPG comes out. Just gonna pick one of those because it's kind of cool that they're both available. Yeah. Sean, how about you? What have you been playing?
So I've been trying to stick with Final Fantasy 2 because we did kind of beat Wonder. We're just trying to find like the levels we didn't unlock. So I'm trying to wind down that before RPG. But
Use the Seeker badge.
I've been using it, and yeah,
I guess
don't know.
that just helps with Wonder Seeds.
No,
and
it helps
coins.
you find exits too because that's
Oh,
what
it
you need.
does?
Yeah, it
Nice.
just goes off if there's something. But so no, we've been enjoying Mario Wonder. I don't think it's in Game of the Year contention for me, just from my time with it. But as far as Final Fantasy 2, I think I just gotta spend like an afternoon with it because usually I try to do like 30 minutes before I go to sleep. And with the way that game is structured, and it's go learn this keyword, great. Go tell this person the keyword, great. Go tell the person at the place you started the keyword. And that seems to be the cycle. So I'm like, all right,
Yeah.
I've accomplished nothing in 30 minutes. So
Yeah, Final Fantasy 2 is a waste of time.
I'm gonna beat it.
Yeah, I understand like people playing games for like the historical significance, and I mean I'm playing the Dragon Quest games for the same reason, to like see how the series evolved. But at the end of the day, I don't think I'll ever play that game again. I've played it once or twice in my life, and now I'm getting to the point where I'm like, I don't have to go back to games like this.
No, it's definitely the one time because I'm like, I guess this is kind of interesting, but I'm like, why? It's like, hold on, we got to go back to the starting town now. Tell the people the new word we learned today.
But back to what you were saying about Mario Wonder, I almost 100%ed it this week. I have that final thing. I don't want to spoil it for anybody, but there's a final level. I've done everything in the game except this level, and I think I might at some point I was talking to Harrison about this, like a bonus episode to upload about all my thoughts on Mario Wonder, so that people who don't want spoilers can just skip over that episode. But if you want to hear someone talk about Mario Wonder, it's all in that episode. So I just love, there's so much I want to talk about it, but I don't want to spoil it for people. So I'm going to put all this stuff in there. The one thing I will say is I love how many references to other Mario games are in Mario Wonder. So that's a little preview of what I'll probably talk about.
That stuff's going over my head, or it's
Okay.
like right in my face, and I'm just like not realizing it. But Momo, how are you guys liking it? You and your wife playing through it?
Yeah, I'm up to be honest, I'd literally not far into it. I think I'm up to the Fluff Puff Peaks or somewhere around there somewhere. So not that far in. And yeah, like it's just been I mean, it handles like the mechanics of jumping, like as always, all Mario games, 2D or whatever, they really make sure the mechanics are on point. Movement and stuff like that. And that's one thing, just getting used to the, obviously the theme of the wonder and stuff like that and all that. all the changes in the power ups and stuff like that, just getting used to and stuff like that. So that's pretty much where the learning curve is for me at the moment. Just getting used to playing around with all the different power ups. But yeah, I've been enjoying it so far. My wife's still playing Pokemon.
Oh, okay.
Because the DLC came out, the DLC came out, Scarlet and stuff like that. So she's been hammering on that. But yeah, I mean, like I said, unfortunately with my new job, I haven't been playing a lot of games that I used to. So I'm trying to. So my time now is a lot more. I need to really make sure I put into something that I know I'm going to like, because I'm going to fall behind from everyone else. So yeah, but so far so good. I'm pretty sure. I mean, it doesn't look like it's going to be a long game, to be honest.
Nope.
So I should. Who knows? By end of the week, I'll probably smash it out, or even in a day or so. If I really put in the effort, I can get it done. If I don't want to 100% it, or any secrets and that, I just want to get through it. But we'll see how we go. I'll keep you updated.
One thing I think is going to be funny to see with Wonder is I'm old enough now to have seen this cycle with every franchise and every game ever, where I know in 10 years there's going to be clickbait articles that are like, why Mario Wonder is actually a bad game. You know what I mean? Opinion
We
changes.
already have that.
I'm sure you're
already.
I know we already have that, but I mean it's gonna be more. There's gonna be more of it. It's gonna like how I see lots of articles written these days. Momo, plug your ears, about why Ocarina of Time is actually a bad game. I see that take a lot now. Whereas
how dare you?
I'm not saying I agree with it. I'm just saying that it's on the internet because so much time has passed.
Sorry, how dare they?
I'm curious to see it too, though, because that'll be this generation's growing up on this Mario, so it's just gonna be interesting to see the reactions where they're like, "What are you talking about? This is amazing."
Yeah. Well, 2023 is just going to be there. I think this is going to be a big retrospective year. In 10 years, there's going to be videos that are like, what if we told you that Pokemon Scarlet and Violet and Tears of the Kingdom came out in the same year? There's going to be videos like that, because I think the big legacy game of this year, no surprise, is Tears of the Kingdom, because I think Tears of the Kingdom, I haven't finished it yet, but from what I've played, is the most perfect game that's not perfect at the same time. So I think there's going to be a lot of legacy talk about that game, about whether it's actually a better sequel, whether it's actually a good game, which of course it is, but
I think it's going to end up being a lot like the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask discourse.
With Breath of the Wild,
there's almost an equal amount of people that prefer one or the other.
The funny thing with Wonder is it's got me excited for the next Mario. I feel
the next one should be 3D, I think.
Well, the next 2D, so probably. They've set the stage for
2.5.
The changes.
I wonder if they're going to do a Wonder 2, because I've seen them say that they came up with so many ideas for the game they didn't use, and the last time they said that, we got Galaxy 2.
It was the sequel. Yeah. I'm hoping. So.
Well, before we jump off that, speaking of Mario, there is one thing that I'm looking forward to trying this, I hope, in the next few days. So I got myself a Quest 3, and I saw someone online actually use mixed reality to put a Mario 3 game, on his table, in his kitchen table, and he was playing the Mario 3 game in mixed reality. So obviously pretty much the background's gone. It's just all the foreground stuff and all the assets. And I'm like, yeah, that's cool. I want to try that.
Yeah,
so
that
I know
it's awesome.
I mean, it is a Nintendo thing, but I thought I'll throw it in there. And also a non-Nintendo thing that's been happening, in the last week, which I've been eager to tell, since you guys are all the way from America, even though Harrison, you're in Thailand, whatever, at the moment, that a new game I've discovered a week ago that is becoming the cash attraction in Australia. A game called Pickleball that I'm sure you guys should know about.
Nope.
No?
I haven't heard,
it's an American
haven't heard
sport.
A thing.
You guys have never heard.
Oh,
I don't live
I
in
thought he was
America.
talking. I thought he was talking about a Switch game.
No, I'm talking about actual
Switch
game.
I've heard
game.
of
Actual,
pickleball. Yeah,
yeah.
Actual pickleball.
Yeah, so in Australia,
Yeah.
it's starting to become like an up and coming sport here now. And I learned about it a week ago, and I kind of fell down a bit of a YouTube rabbit hole, and very eager. Hopefully, next few weeks get to try it out because there's some local places in Melbourne that's been showing it off and stuff like that. So yeah, I just thought I'd throw that in there since you guys are from the originating of the sport in your country. So, but it seems
I invented it actually.
Oh, did you? They said a couple of dudes. Couple of dudes just invented it. So,
wow. Well, America is awesome. We invented pickleball. We invented ultimate frisbee. I guess
we invented
wow,
Wi-Fi. You're welcome.
Well, thank you.
Yeah.
Well, you needed it.
Well,
You're so spread out.
I don't know how I feel about the whole pickleball trend just yet, because it's gone a bit crazy. Like there's professional leagues that like LeBron James are investing in now, and I feel like that's just what everyone's doing it. Like it feels like rollerblading to me.
One thing we need to
that,
invent that was getting on my nerves this week, we need to invent a better internet, because to bring it back to Nintendo, every single line of dialogue in Super Mario RPG that I was curious, like, I wonder if that's going to stay in the game. I wonder if that's going to stay in the game. I had spoiled for me in a matter of seconds on Twitter. It was like one post after the other, because I guess they uploaded like a giant playthrough or something that people were looking at.
Okay.
And I'm just like, okay, so now I'm holding on to two things. The only thing I'm wondering about the game that I haven't had spoiled for me yet is I don't know if they changed the password in the sunken ship, because in the original Super Nintendo version, there's a part where you have to put a password in, and it was the same every time. And I always thought that's a place that can improve this, is maybe like make the puzzle have multiple password options. So I don't know if they changed that, and what the optional boss looks like, the one that's a Final Fantasy homage. That's it. All the other things I was wondering about the game, I'm like, I wonder if it's still in there, I had spoiled in like before I could think to even mute the topic. So,
well, they had a few events where they let people like test out like parts of the game. I watched the videos because again, this is like I'm going to be playing it for the first time in a few weeks, so nothing was going to be spoiled for me. But I just assumed, like for me, I assumed it wasn't a big deal to have that event because it was a remake.
It's probably yeah, exactly. It's a 30. It's not so much that it's a spoiler. It's more that like I was like looking forward to playing the game and being like, oh, cool, they kept this. You know what I'm saying? And now I've seen the things that I was wondering, did they keep this or not? I've seen them posted, so I can't wonder anymore. And that's sort of been taken. So it's not really a spoiler because I know the thing belongs in the game. It's just I didn't know if it was going to stay.
Yeah.
Well, there was two quick things on that. Like one, is there anything in the post game that might be different? And also, like the thing that that really attracted me in the preview is that new like the triple moves they have now.
Oh, yeah.
Those animations look really cool. So the triple move or whatever it's called, that's a new mechanic or a new move in this game, right, Kevin?
Yes, and I had skip ahead 30 seconds, spoiled for me that you can swap characters out on the fly now as well, which you could not do in the original. Sort of like Final Fantasy X.
It looks really cool.
You're right.
It looks really, really
You're
cool.
right, Sean. I heard a nasty cough just then. You're right, buddy?
I think that was his dog, so he might be muted right now.
No, I know. I heard his dog.
But I think we can move into our main topic of conversation, unless anybody else has some more therapy they need to get off their chest.
No, let's do it.
I think our next. Oh wait, before we get into this, I don't know. Obviously, we've changed around. Obviously, with a big topic in hand, but I just want to know: did you guys read that article about that? Like Microsoft has picked up a company to do with AI and try and incorporate AI further into their gaming and stuff like that.
I briefly saw something on it.
Yeah, like obviously it has the gaming community a bit divided because obviously a lot of people have been losing their jobs lately within the gaming industry. But like like I just think I'm sure Sony's already got an AI company. And they already implemented it into one of their games already, which I think it was Gran Turismo this year. They used AI in some sort of fashion. And I wouldn't be surprised if other companies like Nintendo and that will eventually, okay, Nintendo will probably be the last one, will probably eventually incorporate it into their gaming, especially for games like open world RPGs where the dialogue system can be written by AI, things like to keep it interesting. I mean, I'm not saying I don't want people to lose their jobs and stuff like that, but if it's going to help generate, more content quicker, and
Yeah.
then
I
and then
don't know if
saves.
we're there yet.
Yeah,
'Cause
100%. Yeah,
I
I'm not
listen
saying. Yeah.
to I listen to the AI DJ they have on Spotify, and just because I think, like, out of curiosity's sake, and there's some things that like I feel like we should be on it and we're not. Like, for example, the other day it told me a song came out in the year 2000 instead of the year 2000,
Oh,
which I
I'm not.
thought was
Yeah.
funny. And
Oh, yeah.
there was another part where another thing I've noticed the AI DJ will do is it'll be like, coming at you is another one of your top artists, and then it plays an artist I have literally only listened to once, and I know for a fact I have only listened to them once. So I'm like, why is this one of my top artists? What are you talking about?
I mean,
So
Because you listen
it's,
to it once.
I mean, it's still early days, but I'm saying the blowback from this information is, it's. I'm not saying it's overstated because obviously, like I said, a lot of people lost jobs in the gaming community recently when companies downsize and stuff like that. But I'm thinking in the future for beneficial to help with, like, so companies don't crunch or overwork, kill like the anxiety of trying to put out a game before a certain date and stuff like that. If it can ease their stress and anxiety, I'm all for it. You know what I mean? Obviously, at the end of the day, I don't want people to lose their jobs, but
well, I
you
think
know
the
what I mean?
I think
technology will be available in the year 2000.
Yeah,
yeah,
100%.
I I think, and hopefully I'm not speaking out of turn because I'm not a tech person, but I think it's a bit reactionary, and in my opinion, AI is going to be implemented in games no matter what.
Yeah.
It's just going to happen,
100%.
and and the focus should be more of that. It just makes games better, and it's going to create more jobs. I think AI ultimately creates more jobs in tech, but maybe I'm speaking out of turn because I work in an area where they're going to be using AI in the future, but ultimately it's going to be more working alongside people.
Yeah.
So I don't know how it works in a space like this, but we have to we have to do it. Like some of these early like AI games that I've seen come out are super impressive. Like they're not good, but just the fact that like they're able to do what they can with this amount of technology, I think like 5 years in the future, like I hope NPCs are using it
Yeah, that's what I
because
mean. That's what I mean. Like NPCs in games, like
because most NPCs are stupid. Most of them are stupid.
Well, I, for one, would like to welcome our AI overlords and help them with anything they need help with. Just putting
Oh,
that on
stop it.
record for the future.
Yeah,
I
Judgment
know
Day.
they're going to scan all the podcasts.
Judgment Day. Judgment Day is not far, boys. Just remember, it's not far away.
Come with
So
me if
yeah,
you
I
want
think
the
it's
game.
time to dive right into that main topic of discussion we're all itching to talk about, which was the news this week where Shigeru Miyamoto uh, talked about how they've apparently been working on a live action Legend of Zelda movie for a while now. And
Four
I
years,
was
yeah.
just wondering everybody's thoughts. I've got a lot of thoughts, but I'll let you guys go and see if you cover them all.
So,
Most
am I the only
most
one
importantly,
who's
go
disappointed
ahead,
by
John.
it?
No,
What do you
of
think?
course
By
not.
what?
Live action, or you rather
Yeah,
animation?
I'm just really like, really? Live action? Great.
Yeah, I just like maybe I'll change my tune when I get a trailer or something, but I don't see the Legend of Zelda series is not one that people come to for its story. You know what I mean? The story is always very basic, and the gameplay and the puzzle solving and the way the game makes you feel because you're playing it and you're inputting the decisions is what makes the series so great. Now, I know the same could be said about Super Mario, where that's not a series that has a great story either, and yet look at the Super Mario movie. But I think a lot of that movie's success is that it was animated. I don't know if live action is going to, it's just always going to look, I don't know. I can't see it not looking weird or fake. You know what I mean?
I think
Yeah.
if they, because Shigeru Mr. Miyamoto is like obviously in the main box seat to really make sure this whatever decision making and all that stuff, the source material is going to be executed. It just comes down to, because it's live action, the most diverse thing, like the most issue people are going to have a problem with is cast, and then after that, visuals. Cast is going to be number one. Because are they going to go with are they going to go with like how it went with Mario, where they got Chris Pratt, or they're going to go with like if as long as they cast the right people for the right role, it doesn't have to be Hollywood stars. It can be nobodies. You know what I mean? There's no issues having nobodies. Obviously, it comes down to
even though Mario doesn't say much, he still has his things unique that he says. Link has mostly been a silent protagonist, so it's just going to be weird to see him talk in general.
Well, technically, you're speaking for
technically
him. You're speaking for him.
It's gonna be interesting to have that sort of just identity with Link and seeing how much dialogue they actually go with. I mean, going along with the live action choice, the Mario movie was fun. I don't think the plot was the most important part, but it moves so quickly. I love the Mario movie, but it did feel at times like a big TikTok video. Like it was just there would be so many things.
I think that's why animation worked for it, is it could just be reference after reference after reference, and I think live action that doesn't work as well.
To me, it's just tough to have a Link that talks. Like you could do a silent Link as your protagonist. I think it would work, but they're not.
And also, you need a reason that this has to be a Zelda movie. You know what I mean? So it's going to be really weird to I feel like I could end up if things don't go right, you could end up watching this movie and being like, well, that could have just been a generic medieval story with fairies and swords and magic and a Triforce would really drive home that it's Zelda, but it's just going to be a MacGuffin that could have been anything in its place. So I feel
the recent Dungeons and Dragons movie could have been a Zelda movie.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Or like
that's a good point.
What's that one that Nicolas Cage did it like forever ago?
Season of the Witch.
Yeah. That's
some
their Zelda movie. Even some of the games are turning into Zelda games, though. I talk about how Paper Mario Origami King halfway in becomes a Zelda game for some reason. So it's funny how there are like tropes that you can recognize that they could bring to a movie. Your hook shot, you got to have the hook shot. Let's talk about that. What would you like to see in a Zelda movie? I'm going to say hook shot, Epona, obviously bow and arrow.
Bombs?
Yeah, you got to have some bombs in there.
Magic, obviously.
I think for marketing reasons, they would give him his ocarina. And because it's one of the most recognizable Zelda games out there.
Definitely. I like to make a prediction. I predict, since we're not too sure about the amount of dialogue Link will have, I predict that there's going to be some kind of like Zelda diary or something, like something that you saw in like Breath of the Wild, where Link is reading and kind of following along with her voice as well, maybe to kind of pull some dialogue away from Link, because again, like I don't like, perhaps he's the main protagonist, but he also is not the main speaker. And I'm like, are we all already tired of Tom Holland? Like, are we all like, are all of us? Because I'm already
I could
tired
take a
of
break from
that.
Tom Holland. Yeah.
I've
I,
literally only
I
watched him in the Spider-Man movies, but I do understand that he's been making his rounds.
Yeah.
and West Ball is the director, so I guess that could make
Was he in the
sense.
Maze Runner director?
And
Yeah.
um
So I don't know about
and
that.
I feel like casting any known actor as Link though is a gamble. They might have to go for an unknown.
What about
I just feel like, yeah.
no, Harrison, you were going. Finish what you were saying,
No,
mate.
no, no, I just feel like anytime, it's just funny that it's like anytime it's like, oh, boy character, Tom Holland. But Momo, I'll let you go, but I want to make a quick
Frankie
suggestion though.
Muniz.
If we're going for
Yeah.
if we're going for a famous actor, how about Michael Cera? Michael Cera for Link.
Mm,
And I want Michael Cera to not play Link. I want Michael Cera to play Michael Cera playing Link.
I think they
ugh.
would
Every
need to
time, just
cast
like,
someone younger. I think they'd probably have to cast someone who's about 17, 18, or who could play
That's
17, 18.
and that's what
And
I was about to get into for
I
an
was going to say, I
idea.
don't
yeah,
know
go ahead.
anyone in that
So
age range.
and that's what I was going to say. I don't know how old he is now. I think he's still under 20. The guy that played Spider in the new Avatar movie, was it Jack Champion?
I don't
Ring a
know.
bell?
I've blocked a lot of that movie out.
The only live action character in the
Oh,
Avatar 2 movie. The
is
one
he
that one
the?
was he's the one that with the dreads and stuff like that.
Okay, I know who you're talking
Right,
about.
right, okay.
Jack Champion, like he's got the build for it. Like
Okay.
I think he's around. I think he's still under 20. Well, it all comes down to, are they going to do a time travel? Are they going to do straight up? Like, we don't. It comes down to the story. Obviously, I don't. I hope. I think a lot of people might be expecting that might go like a game, like a game story. Like they might pick a game story. Like they might pick Ocarina of Time. Like I don't know, but I kind of feel
I think they would
they
try.
should.
I would think they would probably blend a few of them.
Yeah.
Like you'd
That's
probably
what
get a little
that's
bit
what I
of
was thinking.
Ocarina of
Yeah.
Time, a little bit of Twilight Princess in there. Like they might have the Shadow Realm thing going on. Yeah, I think they might take ideas from a few of them.
Can you imagine if they did like the opening to the movie, like the opening, say hypothetically, they do an opening to this movie and you see like Tears of the Kingdom, like the Zonai, like in the sky. You know what I mean? Like just a random, like the
Yeah,
opening,
yeah.
and then it just cuts straight to like modern day. You know what I mean? So it gives you like, it kind of sets you up, like, and people recognize, oh, you know what I mean? Because they obviously, if you go by the law of the game, like all the source material, who the Zonai are and how it all became to be, and yada yada yada. You know what I mean? They need to, unless, like I said, unless they start from scratch, they use the source material, but they start like a fresh story. Like this is the thing, like a reboot, and then maybe games might come after this movie in a sense that it might start a brand new like reset of a timeline.
Like I said at the top, The
It's
Legend of
probably,
Zelda, the movie, the game.
I mean, it's going to fit into the timeline.
Oh,
I mean,
There's no
this game,
timeline.
this movie. No. I mean the timeline, not of Zelda, but of Nintendo. This
Yeah.
movie could very well come out. This movie is going to come out more than likely after a new system comes out. Like if this is 2025, 2026, we're going to have a new Switch by then. So
Maybe.
yeah, I hope that they give us a main villain in this movie.
we already
because
know we already know who the villain is.
Yeah, Vadi.
Well,
Everyone's
Tingle.
favorite Zelda
Yeah.
villain, Vadi, working with the Happy Mask Salesman and Zant and all the other B tier villains.
I just want to know who's
Yeah.
going to play Beetle. Has to be someone can be.
Oh, right.
See, my only things with it is because I like Zelda, but not on the level you guys do. And I mean, my big sticking points are practical effects. Like
Yep.
I don't want to see, well, emotion capture Ganondorf, and it's like just do prosthetics for the love of God.
Right.
And the movie feeling like Hyrule's lived in. Like
Yes.
that's
Not
something
like the
I
game.
feel like modern
And not feel
movies.
like they, at the same time, also not feeling like they just filmed it in the woods. I think that always looks
Mhm.
Yeah,
awkward in movies
You know
if
what? I
there's
feel
but
too
am
much
I
yeah.
woods.
crazy, or is that a thing that big movies lack now? Is that lived-in feeling?
Oh, sure.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So yeah,
so I
some
think
Yeah.
depends on what you're like. Definitely a lot of the Marvel movies these days
yeah.
when
So
they're in there, like Ant-Man and the Wasp. What was the new Ant-Man one where it was like looked like a
Quantum
video game the whole time?
Quantumania, whatever it
Yeah.
is.
Quantumania, yeah, it was just like so much so much not CG. Well, yeah,
So
CGI, but that's not the
so
word I'm looking
it's
for.
that, and they really. I don't think it would be a bad idea to get the game's composers to do the score
Yeah.
Hmm.
But also I
because
feel yeah, the music will be iconic. It has to be the music has to be iconic in this movie. Like I mean obviously they'll probably have some new stuff, but they need to if they really want to get the heartstrings pulled from like from people that know who Zelda and Link or the games are, they're gonna have drips and drops of like iconic music either in the background, you know what I mean, like just like you'll see in like it'll jump in. But I feel if they're gonna shoot this live action, the only place in the world they can do this is probably New Zealand, where they shot the Lord of the Rings.
Well, they're
but
probably
they
going to
have
put
to make it.
Thunderstruck in there because they've been putting that in every movie lately.
What was it say?
There's a lot
Thunderstruck,
of
the AC/DC song,
thunderstruck.
in
Oh,
like everything.
Thunderstruck, yeah. But I feel like New
Yeah,
Zealand is
if they
probably only natural that can have like has snow, has mountains, it has like
Right.
all that to where they shot Lord of the Rings, where they've done
so
all
if
the
they do
avatars.
that, they have to do it the way they did that, which was mostly practical, but
Yep.
they also have to do it where you're not like, oh, that's just New Zealand. So,
I know, I understand that, but I mean, like for the lived in to build sets in like
oh
live
yeah,
action, to give the natural forests and natural feel of like like all that plains and stuff like that they can use for practical because even though like Lord of the Rings is such an old movie now, like 99, the first one, 99, they did so much practical and then the actual CG enhanced on top of it. I think
Mhm.
that's what modern movies have lost now, where they're using CG first before anything else. If they just use practical and then enhance on top, so that way
Yeah.
practical effects look better because it's easier to create, and then they use the CG to amplify it and stuff like that, or make it, just one level above, make it even better. I feel that's right. But I feel that as long as the main team writing the story and that they match the source
Mhm.
material and follow and write a story that will fit the Zelda universe, and then they can shoot it in a place that fits the Zelda universe. And then basically, yeah, like, they have to get everything because we know the music. They're going to issue with music. Music's going to be fine because the source material is some of the best soundtracks that you'll ever hear in a video game. The story, it's coming from the man who invented Zelda. Plus the team that do Zelda. So, and they say supposedly they've been writing this story for years, a couple of years now, 2 or 3 years or whatever it is now. So they must be. That's why they're talking about it now, which means they must be in a state where they can start pre-production. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? So as long as they hit
Well,
all
for
those
the Deku
markers,
Tree, I think they should definitely cast a giant sequoia. I think that's the route to go. I don't
I
know
mean,
what type of trees do you guys like?
Mahogany.
I think a sequoia works. You need the voice of Ian McKellen though for it. I think for it to really work.
That'd be good. Yeah, I like that. I like that idea. It's gonna be difficult, and I know you guys are dying to talk about this, but coming off of what Universal did just now with Mario, it's gonna be tough. And I know anytime, like for me, anytime I see Nintendo and Sony right next to each other, it feels weird.
Well, think of how good a
So
time we live in, though, that we can speculate this much on a video game movie being like the source material. Because when we were growing up, we had like the Super Mario Brothers movie, which is great for
oh
its
yeah,
own reasons, but is nothing
Mm.
like Super Mario Brothers. We had Final Fantasy: The Spirits Within, which has nothing to do with Final Fantasy.
still
Like we
pretty
could get a
looking though.
Zelda movie like that though. That it's Zelda
Yeah,
in name only, you know. So it's great that we know at least at this point in history that it will resemble the game in some way, shape, or form.
You know what? I
Street
feel like
Fighter. That was they didn't even have a tournament.
Yeah. Mortal Kombat.
Well, Street Fighter was actually oddly accurate to the game lore. And the
No,
first
it was
Mortal Kombat
like a spy movie that they retrofitted into being a Street Fighter movie.
There's no tournament in Street Fighter.
What are you talking about? That's the game.
It's a fighting game, but it's not like Mortal Kombat where it's a tournament. And I mean,
It's not.
no, Bison
You
is
move
running
up
a
the
criminal
board.
organization. So, trust me, the Street Fighter movie follows that pretty well.
I didn't
to be
know
honest,
that.
to be
I
honest,
thought it was a
like,
tournament. You move up the board, like you beat one guy, you go up to the next.
That's how a fighting game works. But no, there's a little more going on in that game.
The good guys fight each other. Ken and Ryu match each other off.
What I feel is Nintendo, it must have been a big decision to go with the live action. Let's be realistic here. For the creator of Zelda himself to say he wants a live action, or they talked about it and they thought this is the best course of action with the story they got, which means he must have high hopes with the story. That's I'll believe in Mr. Miyamoto because he's pretty cool at what he does. However, I really wish Nintendo just picked up their phone and talked to Studio Ghibli or the company that did the animation company that did like Attack on Titan. That animation company.
Or the
A1
Netflix
Pictures,
company out of Texas that does Castlevania. Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like they could have picked up that company. Those companies go, hey, do you want to work with us and make us up? I'm telling you now, if they asked any of those studios, they would have just gone, okay, we'll stop what we're doing now and we'll focus on this 100% to have the opportunity to do a full animated length Zelda movie with the potential of another movie afterwards. 100%.
I'll agree that Shigeru Miyamoto, he's good at his job. He does 99% of the time know what he's talking about, but I've also seen him say some crazy things in my time.
It's getting old, mate. It's getting old.
Or I was watching a video the other day on unreleased, it might have been GameCube games. And there was a developer that was talking about how they were trying to bring a game to the GameCube that would have been a rival to the Twisted Metal series. And Shigeru Miyamoto didn't understand it. He was in the video he talked about, he said something like, why would you drive a car to shoot a gun? And it's like, because it's a video game, dude. Like it's the same thing as Mario Kart battle mode. I don't know how he doesn't get it.
No. Mario Kart makes perfect sense.
So exactly. So like he's some of the things I've heard him say, I'm like, well, I mean, it makes about as much sense as Mario, so I don't get it sometimes.
The only concern I have with the entire project is that Avi Arad is involved at all. Although, yes, he's...
Well, then you're getting Dark Link. That's 100% confirmed. If Avi Arad is involved, you're getting Shadow Link, no question. If anybody out there doesn't know who Avi Arad is, he worked on the first ever Spider-Man movies and every Spider-Man movie since, and he was basically pushing Venom the entire time, and now he's made the Venom movies as well. He's obsessed with Venom, so you'll definitely get Dark Link if he's involved in a Zelda movie.
Crazy story too with what he wanted to do with the Sinister Six with Amazing Spider-Man. I don't know. You got to look it up.
Yeah, he wanted them to basically all come from Oscorp. He wanted them to all have the same backstory, basically.
Oh, he really he brought magic into it. It was a whole bunch of bizarre stuff. But so that's my only concern. But my hope is that Miyamoto and Nintendo have enough force on their end to be like, no, we'll take your money. Great. Maybe you can do some marketing. But no, we're not taking your inputs on the movie.
Yeah, and I have to say, as of right now, I've said, I don't think it's a good idea. I don't see it working, but I'm not a filmmaker. I don't know. So maybe it could work. Maybe it'll look great. I definitely didn't think the Super Mario movie when we didn't have a trailer, back before we had anything, I didn't think it was going to be as good as it was. So I've been surprised before. I could be surprised again.
Yeah, and Miyamoto worked on that one as well with Illumination as well, and he gave direction because he's the source material and all that stuff. So what I'm trying to say, circle back to him. Him being basically maybe him and a few others writing the actual story. As long as the director doesn't interfere with the story, like, oh, I want to make changes to the story. No, you do your job, you direct the movie. We got the story. You know, as long as they control the source material, the direction, the visual direction, and then even in post production, in the whatever company's doing post production, they have a big say. Nintendo saying, "Okay, we're happy with this." Like, I'm pretty sure Nintendo will make sure they look after their property 100%. And I feel like this movie might come out later than what it normally would because they will be nitpicking, making sure that the right color, the right style, the right feel, the right atmosphere is created for this movie. 100%. That's what I believe.
I think it's
You know
just
what?
like
Reshoot
also
the
we
whole
live
thing
in
with Seth Rogen.
we're having such a golden era of animation right now with like Mutant Mayhem and Into the
Spider-Man.
Spider-Verse and
Mario.
Mario. Yeah, we just said Mario. So many good animated. Like I would much prefer it to be. I don't know. I feel like there's a certain type of fan who's like, it's going to be a live action Zelda movie, and it's like that's not the type of fan I want them making the movie for. You know what I
Yeah,
mean?
100%.
Like,
I
it's
think
like
it's
it's
just
got to be live action, and there should be
Uh,
buckets of blood, like that type
If
of
we
fan.
get a Metroid movie down the road, I'd still prefer that animated. So
But that, you know,
Mhm.
I would also prefer it more animated. I'll say that. But that's one. If you told me you have to pick a live action Metroid or Zelda, I'd say do live action Metroid, animated Zelda,
yeah, I kind of agree
because
because,
that could end
yeah.
up looking cool. That could end up looking like Alien, which is
Yeah, well, I was
totally
just thinking that.
the
Yeah.
original game was based on.
Yeah, and also the Metroid has female protagonists, which would just be cool. I mean, to have
Again, Alien.
in like yeah, just in contrast, right? You know, like so
Well, I
the same
mean,
reason why I think it's
some of
cool that
this.
we're getting. Go ahead, John.
Well, I was gonna say some of the Zelda games put her equal to Link, or even like above him.
Or
So I
even,
mean,
Right,
they could do a
yeah.
story on that in those regards too. And
right.
Yeah, she's
I
always
am
kind of a
looking.
supporting character, though. I mean, she definitely has more dialogue than him sometimes, most of the time. That's true. Um, but
I am looking
but then
forward
again, like
to.
I don't know. They keep talking about making a Zelda game where you play as Zelda, and I'd like to see that as well. So, so that
Yeah.
would maybe they could put that out with the movie.
Well,
I want to say
yeah.
I look forward to like normal movie reviewers or people that cover these things referring to Link as Zelda. I'm sure I'm
oh,
sure
that'll
I'm
be
sure
good.
that's going to happen.
That'll be when they
That's going
know
to
they did it
happen
right.
a lot. Yeah. Yeah. It's like oh Zelda, yeah, the guy with the hat. You
Yeah.
know,
Why did they turn
and-
Zelda into the princess? That'll be some of the
yeah.
some of the reviews.
Yeah. And one more, and this is my final thought, really, because I have more questions than anything. I was serious on Twitter yesterday when I said, if Link does not say "Excuse me, princess" in this movie,
We
I will
riot.
never play a Zelda game. I will never play a Zelda game again. I'm serious.
Well,
I'm never playing it. And if he does say it, I'm going to scream in the movie theater. But it's gonna be spoiled by then. I'm sure. We're going to know about it. It's
Well,
going to be like snakes in a plane.
I'm just getting concerned when I hear stuff like this that I'm moving past Zelda as being, because it was such a big part of, like, I used to say there's only 5 things I'm obsessed with, and Zelda was one of them. There's only 5 things in the world that I like cared about, and it's starting to slip away. Because Tears of the Kingdom was a little bit of a disappointment to me, and now like this live action instead of an animated is a little bit like, and I'm like, this is not the franchise that I know. I know it's not mine. I have no say in it, but I don't know. We'll see. We'll see if Final Fantasy is a franchise that definitely got away from me, and I just don't want to see that happen to Zelda.
This is a cliffhanger, Kevin. What are the other 4?
Oh,
So Zelda was one of them.
So franchises I'm obsessed with: Ghostbusters, Ninja Turtles, Back to the Future,
ooh.
Zelda, and I guess Star Wars was the other one. I can't remember.
Oh,
Batman.
so it's
Oh, it
it's
was Batman back
franchises.
in the day. Yeah. Not.
Oh yeah, so it's
I got over Batman.
franchises
Yes, you've
that
moved
you're
on.
obsessed with. I thought it was like five. It's like five things in life that you cared about, like food, water,
No, it was
Zelda.
like if
Like,
you ever need to buy me a present, just make sure it has one of these 5 logos on it, and you're fine.
Yeah. Yeah.
Type
Done.
thing.
No,
I'm a
it's
simple man.
it's there's so much speculation, even though it's early days. But like I said, they by them releasing the information that they're where they are at the moment, which means it just means that they've been working on it and they're at a point now where parties are happy. Like obviously they've gone to Sony for help with funding or whatever they plan to do with it. So as long as they've reached a deal where everyone's happy with everything and they're ready to move into pre-production. So the fact of the matter they've talked about it means that they're at a good place with the story and everything like that is all set up and all that stuff. And then we just have to wait. But to be honest, we probably won't see not even a teaser. You know what? We'll probably see a teaser December next year. Just a little teaser.
All right, here's my pitch. Zelda. It's going to be the most expensive movie ever made. It's going to be the first movie that you watch with Virtual Boy headsets. it's a VR experience.
Oh, very nice.
okay, all right. Let's do a prediction, but who knows if we'll ever get back to this one. All right. Do you think a new Switch will come out before or after the first Zelda trailer?
After.
I'm going to go before.
I'm going with before, yeah.
Because
I'm going before.
I'm just saying
still
after
firmly,
for the sake of it.
Here's what I think
Yeah.
the timeline on that'll be. I firmly still expect the next Switch, even though they've kind of started to deny this. I expect it to be out next Christmas, and the Zelda live action movie thing. I mean, we saw them start talking about the Mario Brothers movie years before we saw anything, so it could be.
Yeah.
What are we in 2023? We could not see anything on that till 2025 or later. I could totally see that happening. But I could also totally see them saying next month, hey, we're starting production. So who knows?
Yeah, well, I think we won't. I think next December, like at the Game Awards, we'll get a tease, but it'll be like just a logo type of, you know what I mean? One of those like
Yeah.
Metroid 4 logo they did on Nintendo. Remember back in the day that everyone lost their shit for. I mean, lost their minds for. I think we'll get some sort of like logo with some music, maybe a photo. You know what I mean? Like just something like not of a character, but like or even like a look at Link, but without his face. You don't know who it is, like who's playing him. You just see the outfit. We'll get something like that. I think next year during the Game Awards, Jeff Keighley will get that, and then we won't see a full trailer until later into the 2025, like a teaser, followed up by something. Movie probably won't be released until either December 26 or early 27. 100%. That's my prediction on it.
There's also the complete because they just said that they've been working on it for years. There's the complete possibility that nothing ever happens with this, and they just never figured out something that they could all agree on. And 2 years from now, we're going to be saying, "Hey, remember when they said they were working on a Zelda live action movie? Whatever happened to that?" So
that's possible.
Remember
as well.
that really long podcast we did on that Zelda movie that never came out?
Those were the days.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. To me, I mean, look, put it this way: we already know characters. We know what the characters are, unless they're obviously the music. It's going to be fine, 100%. No, music's going to be fun. It just comes down to story and cast. I feel is going to be the two main things, and then obviously visuals is going to be a problem as well. But the main things that I feel is story and cast. I just hope with the cast they cast the right people for the right roles, not because who they are. Just pick the people they need that fits the role perfectly. That's all I care about.
well, if they don't get the right person to play King Dodongo, I am asking for a refund.
If that whole movie goes the 3.5 hours and no one picks up a rock and there's a rupee under there, I'm done.
Or breaks a pot. Or
Break some pottery.
There
Yeah.
better be Koroks.
Or they kill. Or they hit the chicken.
Yeah, the cuckoo.
They hit the
cuckoo.
They hit the cuckoo, and then they don't get rushed by cuckoos. Like, or grab the cuckoo and jump off a high place and let it flap and bring you to where you need to go, glide you to where you need to go.
The 3.5
teaser
minute
trailer.
sequence where Link just opens a chest, but it's that whole takes so long to open chests in those games. Some of them.
Imagine they brought the hook shot back. We haven't seen the hook shot since like forever. Imagine
I'll
in
do
this
you
movie
one
that-
better, buddy. The claw shot.
Oh,
Remember the claw? That was way better. People don't remember the claw shot, but it's far superior to the hook shot.
well, what about the long shot? What about the long shot?
A little longer. Trying to think of what else we need in there. Pose, I guess.
Yes, pose.
Those
What about background characters? We need what background characters do you want? Like obviously Beetle. You want a Beetle in there?
yeah, they'll probably put Malin in there and her dad looking an awful lot like Mario.
Yeah. Yeah, because we need iconic. What about now? They're obviously going to have the which races are they going to have? They're going to have the Rudos, because it comes down to which era of Zelda they're going to use. You know what I mean?
Well, most of them have
Zoras.
Yeah, they all kind of have a combination of the same basic four, don't they? It's like you have Goron, Zora, Rudo, and what am I missing?
Hylians.
The birds.
The girls, the chicks, the no,
Gerudo.
you
Yeah,
ever
the
seen
Gerudo.
Yeah,
Gerudo. However you
Gorons.
say it.
No, they had Gorons and then
I said
Gerudos. Did you say Goron?
Gorons, Gerudos. Who are the birds?
Rudo.
I'm totally
Ruto.
Those are
blanking
Rudo.
And then you got
Rudo.
Zoras,
Rudo.
the fish people.
Sorry.
Which there's like Zelda theories out there that the Rudo evolved from the Zora, but I have to point out that there's Zelda games that have both Zora and Rudo in it, so that kind of throws a wrench in that to me. I don't know.
But hold on, Kevin. There's monkeys and people.
Yeah, but not like this.
Hylians. And then you got the Hylians as well.
Not like what this is all. This is all not real.
Exactly. Basically, you know how I like to look at every Zelda game, and this is why I have such a big problem with the Zelda timeline. To me, every single one, it's like a multiverse. Think of like the Into the Spider-Verse movie. To me, every Zelda game is like its own little pocket universe, and that's why it can reference other Zelda games. But each one is like a start over of like, okay, that's a reference to Ocarina of Time, but like the Ocarina of Time that happened in this universe. You know what I'm saying? And that's why I think the timeline is kind of screwy, because there's the split in the timeline, and games that are on different timelines will reference each other. So it's almost like it's like whatever you want it to be type thing.
I'd say maybe this movie's going to reset.
Do you think they'll hide in this movie?
Well,
1,000.
Well, here's my other thing, because it's a Zelda movie. Because it's a Zelda movie, like they have to have a dungeon in there or dungeons, like because usually the basis of a Zelda game is you have to go collect certain things, put them together to create other thing, yada yada. You know what I mean? Like collect 3 medal, like collect 7 medallions or collect the 3 jewels or whatever, right? But the thing is, if they have, because this movie needs to be, obviously they're going to keep this movie, if it's live action, they'll probably keep this movie anywhere between 2.5 to 3 hours, right? But the thing is, if Link has to go on a quest to find like medallions or this from different things, we need to get looks into different dungeons and him doing puzzles and things like that, and using equipment for said dungeons.
It as a 9-film series.
Well, the thing is, I wonder if they'll do the first, like, imagine if they did the first part of the movie, he's like young Link, and then gets the Master Sword and he ages up to 7 years or whatever. You know what I mean? Imagine if they did that.
And you have to go into a different theater to watch the scenes that are adult Link, and they
maybe
keep going back and forth between the time periods.
I don't know. It's hard. That's why live action is going to be hard, man, because there's so many variables in Zelda that it's going to cause a lot of be disjointed, won't flow You know what I mean? You want the movie to flow. So yeah.
As long as the opening is not Twilight Princess like boring, then they should be fine. Fishing. There needs to be a fishing scene in the movie.
Well, is it on the Great Plateau to start off the movie?
All right.
What are the children gonna like? Like most importantly, like Mario did really well, and I'm gonna have no predictions or no bets on this movie whenever it does come out, because it's like Mario. It's so easy to like. Yeah, it's animated. It's for the masses. It's for children. It's for adults. It's got the nostalgia. It's got the, like I said, like the TikTok pacing to it. But I wonder like how you go upon just educating
I don't
masses
know.
of people about Zelda, despite the fact that like even though there's like 30 million people that played Breath of the Wild, like that really means nothing when you're talking about people going out to
To the
to
movie,
see a
yeah.
movie. Because like yeah, it's like Mario's just like it's something that like my parents could go see and they're like, oh yeah, like, there's Mario and there's Peach and there's Luigi, but like this is going to be a movie that not only is it not animated, but like if my parents saw this, they would know no one. Like they would be calling Link Zelda, as I said.
Which one of these is Zelda?
So
Is it the horse?
yeah,
What you know? What?
So-
But here's the best idea. When they do a teaser, right? To do the ultimate, what they can use like do it like a '90s style teaser where you got kids playing the video games, like it just and then it kind of builds into the history of Zelda, and then and then the first teaser will be like kids playing the game stuff and this and this, and then at the end of the teaser you have the view of the live action Link. You know what I mean? In his full getup. Like that could be like a teaser. So like gets people thinking, oh, I remember this game, like playing from the 90s or 80s, whatever, 90s, early
Yeah.
2000s, late 2000s to now. You know what I mean? Like you're just going to hit that nostalgia button. So the only way they can attack normal people, like people, not attack, but you know what I mean? Like
attack people with entertainment.
attract people, especially the people a little bit older that who've been around. They've probably seen a Zelda game, they just don't remember. So if they just use like a 90s style commercial where they're just like kids playing the different games and like go through the different areas of Zelda and then build it up to what the live action is.
Well, I think that's exhausted all our thoughts on live action for something we have no information on other than maybe. Yeah.
Anything's possible.
Zelda movie? Sure. That's pretty much what we have. I think we can move on to the Spotlight game. Did everyone have a chance to play Game & Watch Gallery Triple this week?
Sure.
Yeah, it was a really short play, but yeah.
yeah. Short play. Had a bit of a like nostalgia trip, but
oh, sorry,
keep
Momo.
going,
It was known as Game Boy Gallery 4 in Australia, so maybe you know it as that.
Now you're all caught up, Momo.
Thank you.
So, yeah, what are the facts on it? Because I don't.
So
really
it came
have a
out
lot
in
to
April
say.
of '99 in Japan, December of '99 in North America, and the first thing that I wrote about this is you got to keep in mind when playing it, this was still a time where getting multiple games in one cartridge was like a novelty. Like, yeah, obviously they had it all the way back to the NES and stuff, but it was still a selling point. Like it was still something you'd see on the box where it would be like 8 games in one, So I think that was the primary selling point for this is it's a Game Boy Color game. So the fact that it's in color is kind of a selling point too. And the games are all very, very, very basic.
Specifically for you, it's a press A game. So
yeah.
Or move left, move right. That's it.
Mm-hmm.
So.
I never had any of the Game & Watch games.
No,
and
I didn't either.
I tried looking around because like I know for a fact that I played at least a number of either whatever we call it, shovelware, or it was on like an old like tablet or like children's laptop. Like I know I've played Egg like thousands of times, but I tried looking yesterday to see like was it a port? Was there like a popular like remake of it? Perhaps was it the Nintendo version? Was it not? Because I know I've played versions of all of these games. Egg is Egg. I think is my favorite and most nostalgic of them all. I think this is a cool collection. I have no reference point. People say it's the best out of all of them. Out of all of them,
to me, this is
I don't.
almost like when you get like they put like chess or like board game, like checkers, something on your Game Boy. It's like we weren't having a Nintendo DS yet. This was kind of the quality that this was something where you're like, you know what you're getting when you buy it type of thing.
So,
versus like if you buy like a Mega Man game, you're not sure if it translated to the Game Boy until you play it.
So Egg's Harrison's favorite. Like, do you guys have a favorite in this collection?
I I did a couple different categories, and I'll just tell you real quick. I think Egg was my most enjoyed. I think Turtle Bridge was the one
That was my
where I
favorite.
was most surprised.
That's your
That
favorite.
was the one that surprised me the most. As because I actually enjoyed it quite a bit, and I thought it was pretty stupid. Actually, like until I understood what I was like. I thought it was like you go left, you go right, and then I understood what I was doing. And I think Mario Brothers, despite just a horrible title, is the best looking of it. Like I really like how they move the camera over and you see Luigi putting the whatever he puts it onto the truck, like whatever they're collecting.
Oh, the Mario
right?
Brother
Like,
pie thing. Yeah, that
right?
was my
Yeah,
favorite. I like
yeah,
that one the most.
yeah.
Yeah.
I think that's the best looking out of all of them. I think it's cool that they use like odes or references to other games, like for example, Yoshi's Cookie for Egg, Yoshi's Island for Greenhouse, and also I wanted to say as well, since it's never, I don't think it was ever gotten brought up in this podcast before. I wish, I wish they would use Stanley in some of these future Nintendo titles or Smash Brothers or Mario Kart. Like I know, like you want to focus all of your like your main protagonist person on just being Mario and or Luigi, but I say there's enough space for Stanley because I looked, besides Donkey Kong 3 and Game & Watch, he's never been used outside of that before. Never been referenced.
Well, tell the listeners
Never.
who he is so they don't think you're talking about Stan Lee from Marvel.
Stanley was the original character in Greenhouse, in the Game & Watch Greenhouse
Yeah, he
game,
was almost a
which
mascot.
yeah, and then he was the main protagonist in Donkey Kong 3, where he uses like a
Oh,
Isn't
hose,
he
like
like
or
Mario's cousin or something? Canonically,
yeah,
I don't know.
and
he's
he uses
got
like
the
this like
bug
water
duster
hose, which is
thing.
Yeah,
yeah, which
Yeah,
like
okay.
it's funny that like I think about like I wonder if like they took ideas from the Stanley character and they used them later on with Mario when they gave Mario a hose, or it seems
Flood.
very similar. But it seems like it seems like in like 1983 they weren't really sure where they were going, and then like once it was Mario, it was over.
They
And I just wish they would
definitely
like
gave Mr. Game and Watch his moves in Smash Brothers.
Mm.
yeah exactly. So I wish they would reference these people more, like just put them in a Mario Kart track, put them in Smash. Same thing with I've brought it up over and over again with some of these like Mario Brothers 2 villains or
Oh
characters.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
Why not? Like why why not?
That should be Wonder 2 is Stanley is the bad guy and he's mad for being like in the shadows for so many years.
So,
um,
yeah, I don't have a whole lot else to say about this game. It's so basic. You can keep talking. I'm just going to throw out my rating. I put it right in the middle of my list. It goes right beneath NES Baseball because they're both very basic games. I like baseball a little more.
I mean, ranking wise, I put it at 38 because so it's under Earthworm Jim above Yoshi's Story, but it's just an interesting oddity. But that's it. Like it couldn't keep my attention, and I was like, okay, so
It's one of those
guess
games
this
where
is
you need 5-10 minutes.
WarioWare's.
Yeah.
Yeah, like it seems like it was the proto WarioWare, and I wasn't big on that. So I mean, it's interesting if you haven't ever really seen it, check it out for 20 minutes. But I don't think it's something you need to play.
yeah, I'm gonna put it. Yeah, I forgot my ranking. I'm gonna put it below baseball as well. I can't. I can't. I'll do it later.
I
I'm
got you.
gonna put below baseball as well at number 32 for me. It's pretty similar on the list. Yeah, like these are games like I've said how like I wish the Switch would come. Like I wish the pack-in game would be like the tabletop like 51
Oh
plus
yeah.
one games. You know, like this to me feels more like if it was a pack-in game that came included with a Game Boy, you would play it. You know, you spend some time on it. You know, like you play it on a road trip perhaps if you're bored. And it's a fine collection that looks I think looks very decent on the hardware.
Yeah.
The sound I think is horrible.
Yep.
Uh, it's like and I think it has to do with the technology at the time, but like too much of old Nintendo is like we have it's like we have the A part, then we have the B part, and then when it gets more exciting or you're running out of time, we just make the tempo faster. So like we're not changing anything. We're not changing the music. We're just making it faster. And that's pretty much what these games are. So I had to mute it pretty quickly. Um, and uh, yeah, I guess that's all from me. I wanted to know, did any of you guys ever have a Super Game Boy or a Game Boy player?
Yep.
No.
I had the
yeah,
Super Game Boy on my Super Nintendo.
Yeah, you had that. I never had any of the players.
I have the one on my GameCube right now too.
Yeah, the Game Boy player, the GameCube one is the one that I had, which was always funny because I had like the screen and the extra battery. It was like a big portable system where I could play a smaller portable system on it. It almost felt like, but I just brought that up because I was watching a variety of gameplay videos where people did, you know, all the way from the OG Game Boy where it's like horrible to like Game Boy Player or Super Game Boy, and just thought that was cool.
Did the Game
Um,
Boy player attach to the bottom of the GameCube?
Yes.
yes, yes,
Okay.
yeah. I had I don't know if it was I forget who made the screen, but I had the screen, the Game Boy player, and then I had a battery that attached below it. And man, like GameCube was great. Like there were so many different ways that you could like. There's so many different things that you could like attach to it and like accessorize with it, and it was just a
That's
very
why
fun system.
it had a handle, right? That was a big part of the marketing was you could
Yeah,
bring it around
yeah.
with you.
Because I remember bringing it on like band trips or something, and you know the battery would be like an hour perhaps, and we could play Smash Brothers for an hour, and it was great. And then we would all like crowd around this, you know, however big the size of the top of a GameCube is, you know, like a few inch screen.
Oh yeah.
So
So
that is Game
I
and
digress.
Watch. I'm going to roll the randomizer now and find out what we're playing next week.
N64.
It's going to be a GameCube game. You'll see.
Work.
It's gonna be a GameCube
A game that's remade on GameCube. It could be.
game. We are exclusively playing a GameCube port.
So you're all wrong. It is going to be one of my favorite. Well, I gave it
Here we
away. Gave it away. One of
It's a
my
Zelda
favorite
game?
games. You don't know where it's going on the list, but you know it's going to be high on the list. It's Toe Jam and Earl on the Sega Genesis. Is what we're playing this week.
That's you and I are ridiculously biased on it, but
We're gonna have to devote half the podcast to that. I know that game inside and out. I have so many thoughts. So I'm gonna mention, because I don't think they have any of the other Toe Jam and Earls on the service, right? So I can talk about all of them.
that's the only one right now. Yeah.
Yeah. So there's no
Sega
need to hold
Genesis
back.
Collection, I think, has the second one too.
And anyone else have anything to say before I start talking about let's go email me and stuff?
I was gonna say with Mario Wonder, I wonder if they'll do an update to Mario Maker and add the Mario Wonder assets.
You won
Mario Maker 3.
Yeah, Mario Maker 3, exactly.
Oh,
So if you have any insider insight into how far along Super Mario Maker 3 is, let us know. We won't tell anybody. You can email us at nintendotherapypod@gmail.com, or if you'd like to talk about your thoughts about the Legend of Zelda movie, or if you'd like to talk about anything you heard, anything Nintendo, just send it to us. And as always, keep in mind, we're Nintendo fans, not Nintendo experts. So we probably got a lot of stuff that we talked about this week wrong, and we'd like to hear about it. So let us know that too. And
Dear Nintendo
you know what I haven't said in a while? Spotify comment section. This is a comment section. Use it. You're not Avi Arad. You're Sean, and you're a Ninja Turtle nerd. We'll get back to that podcast someday. All right. Thank you, everybody, for listening. We'll see you next week.
Yahoo!